Alright, so today we're going to talk about one of the project guitars and I've been working on a little bit over the last few years. This one actually isn't a new guitar at all. I've had this for about, I don't know, 15 years. I got it actually 20 years because I got this in 2005 when I first moved to Seattle. This guitar here is a 2003 BC Rich Bronze Series Warlock, or at least that's what the body is. Everything else on this has been replaced, including the neck. Yeah, this is my first headstock I ever cut and painted. I still have to finish up the painting and stuff on it, but we're working on it. So 2003 BC Rich Warlock body. We've got these Amazon special Hexbucker humbuckers in it in hot pink. Leoquan badass style bridge, single volume knob, three-way switch, bridge, both pickups, neck pickup. We have a phase switch for the neck pickup so it can go in and out of phase. And then we have my tri-mode switch, which activates on both pickups at the same time. This is actually the guitar that was prototyping the circuit for a family member's guitar. And yes, I repainted this whole body using rattle cans. It does have a few issues. I did chip it in one spot, so I might be doing some more refinishing work on this and getting this a bit more smoothed out, a bit more corrected, so it looks good, so it looks factory. But yeah, it's completely rebuilt. It is a Bronze Series. I might be putting this one up for sale. It's got the original tag and serial number on it. I'm going to try to fill all that in, kind of like an 80s model, kind of custom work. But yeah, so anyway, to talk about this one, where this came from. So I bought this in 2005. I had a roommate named Kat, and we went halfsies on two guitars. We went into, I think it was this pawn shop that I used to go to fairly often, and they had two of these Bronze Series Warlocks, and they're one in this black color, and then this was originally a transparent Gladbag brown. It was like a really ugly transparent color that didn't look very good, and you probably saw it in some of my early videos in that incarnation. We so I played this for a while in stock format, then I repainted it again blue, and I put the original pickups from my Jagmaster, which are now back in my Squire Jagmaster now in this. So it was blue with white pickups for a while, and then there was some sort of celebratory The Who Day thing where we smashed it and destroyed the original neck, and it was deemed unfixable by me. So the body just kind of hung around for several years unused, and then I decided to start repainting it. Actually, my wife decided to start repainting it first, so she started repainting a hot pink color. She wanted to make it a gem in the holograms kind of guitar, looks wise. So that was kind of her idea. So, you know, like the old 80s cartoon show. So when she decided to do that, she did it, and then we started just kind of collaborating. I started throwing sprinkles of like purple on it, and it looked kind of cool. I liked it. But then I said, hey, let's put some pink pickups in it. That would look kind of cool with the black things. We'd probably put black hardware on it, and it would look really rad. What ended up happening to that was then, you know, we did a mock-up with these pickups. She was like, well, that's a little too much pink. So then I kind of thought, let's strip it down. Let's just paint it black. Maybe I'll sell it. Because, you know, the BC Rich guitars, I like them. I like how they play. I like how they sound. They're just not my style. I mean, I have a visual style as a player where I typically play offsets, even if I'm playing heavy metal, even if I'm playing hard rock. I mean, the creepingnet thing to do is to have a Jaguar going into a high gain amp or something similar to that. So this fits the bill and it does the job. It's just, you know, the visuals of it. That, and I've got so many 24 and 3/4 inch scale guitars now, that's kind of getting crazy. And I only really, out of my 24 and 3/4, I only really play most of the time the Paul Dean and my Dean ML mainly. And my ML, I'm thinking about putting a Floyd Rose in and kind of dime bagging it up a little bit eventually. So anyways, we look at this one. We just have the single volume knob. It's got the treble bypass mod on it, so. course, Guitarix makes every pot scratchy, so. So yeah, you got that kind of crunchy metal tone going on. So let's go ahead and go back to another sound here. Let's change over to maybe my main clean sound and scare the shit out of everybody. So here we have my clean tone. Here's just the bridge by itself. In mode 1, this is just straight humbucker right here with this switch in the middle and this one in fade. And let's flip it one way. You hear how kind of stratty that sounds? So if I flip it this way, you got more of that, that sort of Telecaster kind of sound, whereas this way up is. And this one's still unfinished. The things I have left to do, I'll talk more about what I've done to this. So there's all your switch positions. Then you have middle. There's both pickups in phase. And then both pickups off phase. Let's try both pickups split and out of phase. Both of them in that stratty kind of parallel mode. Let's try them in phase. Let's put them coil split like that. Kind of almost a jazz mastery kind of sound out of a Warlock. Who would have thunk it? Neck position. This full humbucker, same riff. And the popping of the switches I have confirmed is, of course, Guitarix. I don't know what to do about it. Let's coil split. Other way, strat mode. Let's try if off phase does anything. Yeah, it reverses the settings. So that's kind of the thing. What I wanted to do is see how we could build a live, happy, massive amount of tonal operations into your standard Warlock without putting too many switches in. I also wanted to find a use, so we're going to talk about it. So for the body here, we stripped it completely down. I took all the original finish off, even the sanding sealer. Put on primer. It's got the pink paint under here in a way, so probably it'd look cool reliced up with like pink popping out from everywhere. I almost thought about maybe filing these corners and maybe having that be like pink where the rest is black. But I kind of like the classic black look right now. Other modifications made. One 500K pot with no tone pot. I'm finding in recent years my tonal preference is generally not to have a tone pot most of the time. On all, except on certain guitars where that treble sync of sorts that happens with the tone control is kind of handy, like on Strats, Tellys, Jaguars, that kind of thing. But on high output humbucker guitars like this, I'm starting to kind of understand why the 80s guys love to just have one volume knob. It just worked really well that way. It gives it sharper, you have a tighter attack, it crunches better. That's kind of the thing. Toggle switch is the same budget type that you'd find in any BC Rich Warlock. I think I bought this at Guitar Center the day I was getting this put back together. These are just a couple micro toggles I bought on eBay. This is a cheap import bridge. It's not the greatest bridge that ever was made, but I've been making it better, doing some metal work on it. So it's probably going to end up being as good as the one on my Hondo Paul Dean when I'm done. The neck here is I believe the brand is Kaish, K-A-I-S-H, I think. It's bare 24 and 3/4 inch scale paddle head neck that I bought. It's got a bit of a volute here further back. It's got a very similar profile and very similar feel to the original neck that this guitar had. The only difference is the headstock, and I was kind of on the fence with the headstock on the BC Rich, and here's why. So the problem I have with BC Rich Warlocks, with BC Rich, is they don't have the same headstock. The Bronze series originally had a slim headstock kind of similar in this design in a way, except it was sort of even boxier and a little wider. And then you had the old ones from the 80s that had like this jutting out thing here, and it was just all extreme pointy angles. I thought about doing a widow headstock for a moment, but I don't really like 3x3. I tend to prefer 6 aside. Those kind of guitars drive me kind of crazy. And yeah, so when I cut the headstock, what I did, I have a Stu Mac jig somewhere over there in my mess of tools I need to reorganize. And what I did was I clamped it up here. It's a Stu Mac tool that actually locates all the holes. And I just made sure that was flush with my edge here. And then I just drilled all the holes for the machine heads. And I got these inexpensive machine heads on eBay used. The cover is custom made by me. Using plastic pickguard material. I haven't put a logo on it, but it is going to get the BC Rich logo on it, but with like my little custom logo on it, because it's definitely a custom build. Some people would ask me the question on this. They would say, okay, well, what if you sell it? Well, if I sell it, I'm still not parting it out. There's kind of a philosophy I have when it comes to selling my gear. I don't like the idea of just parting shit out always, because what you're doing effectively by parting out a guitar that doesn't have the maximum value, and I understand people these days, they want to make as much money as possible. There's a tough economy and everything, but when you've got, the wealth I do of instruments, you're kind of at a point where you're starting to think, okay, well, if I'm downsizing, what am I going to do? So I would probably put this out there by itself as like a decent entry-level guitar for some kid that, maybe they're into Wasp or into Wasp or some death metal band, and they want something like their heroes play. So then it definitely fits that bill. See, it's got the sound. It's got that whole metal thing, I tend to combine the down picking of Hetfield with Kirk Hammett's down and up picking on that part. Economy, come on. Yeah, so I play a lot of... I did play in a lot of metal bands, and this was actually so... Me and the Bronze Series Warlock, my opinion on these are great entry-level instruments. They're built really well, but I think this would kick the ass of any one of them off the factory floor. Bridge pickup. These were bought off Amazon, believe it or not. And they're actually, it seems I don't know if they're wax potted or not, but I'm probably going to make sure they are. So these are Amazon humbuckers. The bridge, I think, is a very high, like 16.5K, and the neck is like 10.5. So definitely in the right territory for a Warlock. That's extremely high. I know there's guys who get more scientific and throw the Henrys in there, but I still find just reading the ohms reading is more than enough if you're just playing the darn things, you know. I think we're getting a little too. This is why I don't hang around the guitar communities too much anymore. It's just getting. I almost sometimes wonder if maybe I had a hand in this in the early days, constantly pointing the science in because I was trying to always talk about the science of buying the vibratos and shit. But it gets to a point where eventually you need to kind of leave some mysticism there because it's making everything a big myth busting session because you feel the need to always be right is kind of ruining the fun of the whole thing. Because really, at the end of the day, who the fuck cares? That's another thing I'm probably going to talk about with guitars a little bit here. Why the heck do we care so much what other guitarists think? 90% of the people who are listening to your music are probably going to be listening to it to they don't give a crap what brand, what model, what pickups you have, what bridge you have, whether or not you screw your pickups into the wood or you put them on trim rings like I did on this, whether you have Floyd Rose, Kaler, whatever the hell you chose. There's so much gatekeeping that goes on in the guitar community. I find it ridiculous, and that was originally one of the tenets of this channel when I started it. Was basically to kind of point out, rock what you got. It's like Vice Grip Garage. You know, Derek Beery, you know, his whole channel started off about, you know, driving what you got regarding cars. Same thing with guitars, you know, man. Just, you know, rock what you got. See what you have. And if you get something new, heck, see where you can take it. That's what I did with this. So that's kind of the whole point to this build here, was basically to kind of see how we could build like the ultimate clean and dirty BC Rich that could actually do both well, and play well. Now, I do have things left to do. I do need to put a finish on the neck. I'm not sure if I'm going to paint this black or if I'm going to just leave this natural and maybe use like gunstock oil on it or something, because I think that would be more in line for metal. Because when you paint the back of a neck with a gloss, some people don't like it because their finger sticks to the gloss finish. But then other people, they like that gloss back because it looks new and shiny to them. So go figure. This headstock I still need to sand down. I was trying a different spray paint than I used on the body. It was by a company called Behr, BHR. I've had some success and some not so much with their products. I mean, I have a Paul Dean copy in here that I've been working on that was done with the Behr brush on clear, and it looks kind of awesome. And I also have a blue Jaguar with 2 Amazon humbuckers in it that I'm working on that's going to have a Floyd as well. So yeah, this is one of my on the bench projects. Still have some work to do at the nut too. I still need to do some of the fret dressing. I'm probably going to do a level and recrown on these frets. My goal with this is to get the action as low as I possibly can while using where the guitar likes to settle in as sort of my guiding point for that. I think I got the truss rod and the relief set really good on this because the action already is pretty darn low. I think we've got maybe about 2 millimeters at the 12th fret on the high E and about 3, maybe 2 on the low E. And it doesn't buzz very much. It doesn't seem to transfer through the amp very much. So it's got a good sound. I like how it's turned out. And the amount I spent on this wasn't that much rebuilding it. I mean, the pickups themselves were, I think, like $12. The neck was like $45. The tuners were $10. I mean, you could probably buy one of these used like that now, but yeah, I decided just to rebuild it all from the ground up. I'm keeping the crazy headstock shape because I actually quite like it. It kind of flows more at the Warlock's lines. That's what I did with it, was kind of... When I cut this at first, I was kind of like, am I making a mistake? And then it's grown on me really a lot because you can see it's got that BC Rich-esque kind of shape, but I gave it more of a bat wing kind of feel to it. And I was doing it completely by hand and by looking at it, and it just looks rad, especially with this body. It's like I made an individual Warlock headstock. So I don't know whether this sticks around or not. We don't know. I've thought about starting a reverb store for some of my downsizing. So that's kind of what I'm doing here with these things on the bench. Some of them we'll probably talk about some others in some other videos. Anyway, this is creepingnet signing out. See you in the next video.